Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. And today, I'll be reading A Katsuki Reader by Technically Flamey on Tumblr. So let's get into it. When your beloved husband had come home from the home improvement store, carrying numerous bags and items with a determined and fierce gaze of his that had made your niece smile the first time you had seen it, he hadn't been worried in the slightest. He was more than capable of building things, as he often broke things thanks to his quirk and anger in general. However, when he took these various items and went to the room that would soon be occupied by a small bundle of joy, that's when your interest had peaked. "Katsuki, what are you doing?" he asked him, hearing the sound of plastic bag rustling and a metallic pop as well from behind the closed door. "The shit in nursery needs to be done, so I'm gonna do it," he called. "So stay out." He chuckled, knowing that they had recently decided in the latter months of her pregnancy that he would take care of everything: cooking, cleaning, and now doing the nursery for your baby. "Okay, let me know when you need me to take a look," he told him, turning back to the TV and watching the show you had been binging once more, your hand pressed against the being that was roughly kicking you once more. About 2 hours later, the sound of a triumphant huff and the door opening made you realize that your husband was ready to show off all his handwork. And with a simple, not so fluid motion of standing from the couch, you got up, your fingers grabbing into another can of paint you had gotten yourself earlier in the week after your ultrasound and had been meaning to tell and show Katsuki since. But now, as the nursery was being done, you thought it would be the best time to share a little secret. Katsuki was waiting outside the door, arms and hands covered in gray paint, a smirk of victory in his features. You paused in front of him, smiling gently at the man you loved more than anything else in the world. "You ready to see the best damn nursery ever?" he told you, eager and waiting on the side of his mount. "Let's see it then." You rolled your eyes, long used to this part of your husband, even finding it a tad bit endearing at times. Katsuki moved aside, letting you take a peek inside the room he had spent the last few hours on, and all the hard and love-filled work he poured into the room for a soon-to-be-born baby. You drummed your fingers along your stomach, the protruding part of you have gotten large in the last couple months than it did at first. Rough kicks against your stomach letting you have an inkling of feeling that the growing little life inside of you was not pleased either at what was currently going on in their soon-to-be room. You turned to him, a single glance of yours letting Katsuki know exactly how you felt. And just like that, the smirk was wiped away from his face, instead replaced with a frown in Balder's eyes. "Oh, come on, Ryan," your husband yelled, pointing to the decoration he had spent all afternoon putting up. "These are great to have. Can't you see that?" He shook your hand, looking back at his then choices for a newborn, who had yet to arrive. Dull and dark colors, mixed with plain white furniture, and the eerie lack of pastels or simple cute accents, made the nursery look more like an angsty teen's room than one for a baby. "Babe, it's just..." he began, trying to find the words that would not set off your husband. "It doesn't really look like a room baby would like." He blinked, glancing at his handiwork once more, trying to see if he could figure out what was so wrong with the place. His scrawled eyes scanning all the work he had done this afternoon on his day off. He liked that. He thought he did pretty well. But then again, he wasn't really prepared and knowledgeable for this baby thing. "Fine. Show me what you want to do," he grumbled, rolling up his sleeves once more and preparing to get paint on himself once again. He nodded, but instead of telling him exactly what to do, or even showing him a picture of the nurse you wanted your baby to have, he picked up a rolling brush and smiled wildly at your husband, your smile seeming to say that you would be helping him now, and thus making the work go faster by for the both of you. "No way." He immediately spoke back to you. "You can't help." "Katsuki," you sighed, watching as he clicked his tongue. "I can help paint. I'll leave all the heavy lifting to you." But isn't there some kind of bleed or some shit in the paint? I don't want my kid near that stuff. I'm positive the brain I bought the other day does not contain lead. He giggled, always entertained when your usual rough and wild husband turned to his doting and worried father. And besides, I thought this would be a good way to tell you. Tell me what? He mumbled, raising a brow at her strange behavior today. Is something wrong? With you? With the baby? His young never seemed to frighten you. But even when you had begun dating, as you always knew it was his way of showing concern. Or rather his way to express his bottled up emotions. And in this instance, you could tell that he was yelling out of worry that something was wrong. Nope. We are both perfectly healthy. You sighed, smile still gracing your lips. Then what the hell do you want to tell me? You scoffed a bit, never having been someone to like to beat things around the bush. Always preferring for someone to just come out and say it to his face. You sighed, lifting the unopened paint can and handed it over to your husband, who did it. With much more ease than you did. He chuckled himself at how much stronger he was. No doubt, taking something along the lines of being your savior, since he had taken the heavy can from his 7 months pregnant wife. Just open this can of paint and see for yourself. You shook your head, feigning annoyance. Katsuki shrugged, taking a screwdriver and fiddling with the can until it was eventually open. His gray-colored hands, removing the lead from the top, and peering down into the much lighter color that was contained in the side of the can. A light and pastel blue met his red irises, and he stared down into the color, his mind trying to figure out what the scripted code meant. Something involving the baby, and not just the room. He could tell. And now the color blue. His mind clicked at the answer and he turned to look at you with wide eyes, and a suddenly very noticeable thumping in his heart. A boy? He shouts, but his voice drops off to sound unsure of himself. He's heard that he is burning into you such desire for confirmation that you can't help but blush and chuckle, your head nodding to him. Your answer given and his lips suffering into a wide grin. One of those rare grins he only gave her off in situations. He couldn't push down these emotions inside him, making him feel all tingly on the inside. The few times he did so, always being these monumental moments for him and you. When you proposed and he said yes. When the both of you were officially married. When you told him you were pregnant, to begin with. And now, when you found out that his firstborn would be a boy. Holy shit. He laughs, no longer being able to even consider making a unchallenged reaction to this. His entire body feeling alive and buzzing with happiness and proudness for the woman he had fallen for. A boy. Crap. That's why he's been kicking you so much. Of course, Miss Helen would be already trying to fight. Stop that. The baby's already taken after you. Next thing you know, he's going to be talking like you too. He scoffed, smiled on his face luckily. Well, what can you expect from my baby Bakugou? Our first words are swears, you know. I really hope you're joking. You sighed, placing a hand on your stomach again. Was Katsuki finally calming down? He glanced at the pressure down on your other hand, and the pain that was still beating and opened for you. He sighed once more. The usual frown in Pure's eyes returned to his face. Well, we better get painting then. Got to make sure this place is done and ready by the time my son gets here. And despite how his face had returned to normal, and the smile that was so uncharacteristically placed on his face a moment before was now gone, you could still see the pride and happiness of it radiating off of him at this moment. The feeling of fatherly love coming from your husband in the best of ways. He did, after all, want to be the best. So it was only natural for him to do everything and anything possible in the best way, including redoing the nursery for your son, now that he knew what one should look like. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I hope you enjoyed listening to this as much as I did making it. Anyway, goodbye.